Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue with this Toro season. So I decided to do this reading today for EXO Baekhyun. So yes, let's do this. Let's dedicate this to him. So yes, let's start with the cards that he got. He got the Hierophant, Eight of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Emperor, the World, and then from the Oracle he got Saturn in Pisces, Loss. So honestly, him starting with the Hierophant, you know that the Hierophant it's a very Taurus card, so I actually I'm very surprised. But yes, tarot works like this. So I think that honestly, probably May is going to be a very good month for Beckham. The whole Toro season. I think that he's slowly accommodating his energy to what's to come, and he's very much ready and settled to work. I see that actually there's a lot of action. There's not much, you know, time to ponder or think about options or, or be like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do next, and hesitate a bit. I think actually, um, since we have the Hierophant here, I also call it like the company card because for me it does represent this institution, and this is probably SM, already settling everything for Baekhyun's um, journey, for Baekhyun's development as an artist. They probably have already um, everything set up and decided, and everything is moving very fast. Um, and also, setting some rules, some putting a structure back again in his life. Um, Definitely, I sense that there's a part of I know that Baekhyun is very open and honest about the company, and I think that probably he does have his opinions about them. Um, but honestly, starting here with the Hierophant, I see him very connected uh, to the to what's been proposed to him from the company. I actually see him very aligned with the values of the company, so I don't know what changed. I mean, a lot of things got changed for SM, but I think that somehow he's very satisfied with I sense that there are some guidelines, there's a lot of a structure, and there's a lot of rules to follow, but I don't see him resisting this. I actually see him acknowledging the authority of these people and being like, okay, whatever you want me to be or do, I will do it, and I will get back to work, and I will be fast, and I will be very 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 responsible like always. But I don't know, there's a sense of maturity in Baekhyun's energy. I don't know what happened. Like in the sense that I always get this very very funny side of Baekhyun in the readings. A bit sarcastic sometimes. But in here I sense that he's very well behaved, very serious. Okay, I have to do this and this and this, and I'm going to do this and this. So I see him actually very much in order, very much very calm and stable, very serious, but also very eager to move forward. um Definitely, I see him looking at the path ahead, and being very. I think that for the first time, he has a very clear vision of what's to come. So I guess he must have had a sort of like conversation with the people that manage him or manages the group, um, because I sense that there must be a reason why he's so like, you know, so comfortable with everything, and also he got a lot of cards of leadership, because he got the Queen of Swords, and he has the Emperor. So there's this very strong energy of, and also the Hierophant, it's also a card of authority. So I think that probably, Baekhyun had been offered some kind of leadership over his career, or the way this is going to be developed, or I don't know, the group has been offered something that he's like, oh, okay, like I like this, like I definitely feel respected, I feel like I'm being respected. I feel like they are also keeping their word. I feel like um he feels like whoever is in charge, it's somehow been very generous to them, and probably this is the reason why there's no distrustfulness here, there's no awkward feeling. Actually, he does see the potential of having control over some things that probably in the past he didn't feel like he had the control. So, and also justice been made. So I don't know, like what's going on when it comes to management, because you know that these people changes every day. So, but it seems to me from Baekhyun's perspective is that this is actually looking very good and prosperous for him. He actually is able to see his objectives or his future goals in a very um like he's able to see his future, like to see possibilities, and to see himself in control of those, in control of what he can choose, and he feels very proud of that. I think that this year is going to be a year of a lot of ownership for Baekhyun, also feeling very brave, very stable. He finally not having to fight people to have his place or to have his opportunities or to have his moment. I think that if we see these three people here, we have the Hierophant, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Emperor. These are three characters that are seated on their thrones, and this talks about Baekhyun's very experienced energy. Like this guy doesn't want, to start all over from the amateur perspective. He doesn't want to be a trainee again. He doesn't want to start all over again things as if it was the first time. He doesn't want to adventure to new and modern ideas and units and weird things. He wants to start projects that acknowledges his experience. He doesn't want to feel like he is a trainee again. I don't know what he means by this, but I think that it's like, I have been doing this for years. I would like some recognition, please. Like, and there's also a bit of a stubbornness coming from his part, because we have the Hierophant and we have the Emperor, that this could represent Taurus and Aries energy in him, and being like, like I am my own person, like I have desires of my own, I have a vision of my own, I have a personality of my own, people know who I am, I have my talent, like please, like get me good things to do, like I'm not going to be following you around and begging you for an opportunity. You have to come to me and give me the opportunity. So, I think that definitely he has a point. He has a point. I think that this is why I see him so serious and so, like, probably in another moment he would have tried to be funny and witty about inconveniences and mistakes and having and being in a very uncertain moment or in his career. He's like, I don't want to experiment with my career. I know my path. I know my style. I know what I'm good at. So give me more of that. So I think that definitely there's a lot of clarity in him, and probably he's not going to stop. Like he's not going to get out, get up of his throne to go and just please people. He's like, okay, I'm here. Like you decide, like how you want to work with me. And I will think about it. Like if the proposition is good, I will take it. If it's not good, I will not take it. No, I think that definitely he also sees himself as the role of the sort of mentor. He's like, I could be, uh, because he doesn't see himself as an example, but he's like, I could be a good teacher. I could be a good reference for someone. Um, and also here with the world, probably he wants to move on. He wants to close a cycle. It's like he wants to close a cycle of fighting and resisting and being on survival mode all the time. Like he definitely is entering a state in his life where he wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to fight people anymore. And when I say this, I don't mean it just like, the company. I think that this also means people trying to enter his life and trying to evade his privacy. I think that he's very much in in control about this. He's like, I endured this for so many years, but now I'm done. Like I'm done. I am another person. And definitely if he gets angry, or because you know that the emperor is a very strong figure in the sense that it can sound and it can come off as bossy and authoritative and blunt because it represents Aries. So I think that for Baekhyun is like, okay, if I see something that is like somehow interrupting my process, my life, uh, my circumstances, I'm going to put an end to this. Like I'm going to fight people, like not fight people, but it's like he's going to say something about it. He's going to assert his authority, and if he has to sue some people, he's going to do it, because I feel like he's in this era of no nonsense, but not in a childish way of like, oh, look how fame, it's awful to me, look how I'm being treated because I'm famous and I cannot walk on the streets alone. No, it's not about that. It's more about, you got away with so much and now I'm coming for your head. Something like this, but this is what I want to say is that the emperor, since it's Aries, it can be angry, it can get upset and easily provoke, but the emperor is not someone that is going to like um start an argument just because, or start fighting people just because, and get all worked up and get all you know frustrated and start whining like a child. No, he's going to be much more graceful and elegant, and also like very selective about his fights, or his discussions. He's like, okay, like you're really bothering me, so I'm going to do this and this and this, in a very order and being very being a gentleman, but also asserting his dominance. I think that for Baekhyun is very important to assert dominion, dominion, over his life. There's something about him like, I don't want to be someone's puppet anymore. Like, I'm done. I want this to be over. Like, I want this to be over. I don't want to be a follower. Like, I want to be my own person. I want to be my own boss, if it's possible. So definitely he could, here I didn't see cards that indicate or that talk about money. So I guess that somehow, probably because of the Hierophant, the Queen, and also um um and also the Emperor, I think that probably he doesn't have, like, it's not that he's I don't want to say like he's um like he doesn't need money, but probably he's very well, like, established. Like, probably this year is not going to be a worry in his mind. um there's a sense of stability, but I think that also Baekhyun, since money is not in here, I think that this is the reason why everything that he does and agrees to do, it comes from his own assertiveness and from his own person. It's like what he's doing now is what he decides to do finally from his heart. Is his own decision, and he's sticking by that decision. And also watch him, like, pay attention to how he behaves, and pay attention to what he says, and pay attention to how he asserts dominion and control over his life. Also, this means setting boundaries between him and people, and probably, like, not being controversial, but I think that he is very much like, like, no one is going to move me from here. I'm not the same guy anymore. I am a different person. I definitely think that yes, the military has changed him. He's a different guy. He's more connected with his masculine side. um he's also, like, much more organized. Like, I think that for him now it's very important to, you know to not let people decide for him. He wants to decide things by himself. He doesn't want to be pushed around to do things that he doesn't want, and he's all about, being like, I know my value now. I am an emperor, so I know my value. So I want to move on. Like, I want to move on. He probably also wants to expand. He wants to close the cycle and probably try a different style, or do something very different, either with a group or with by himself. But he probably wants to also travel, like, he wants to experiment, like, different things. But I think that it's not about being experimental, like I mentioned. I think that, honestly, for him is much more about, there's something that there's a chapter that he needs to close. He's the type of guy that he's like, okay, if I'm on tour, I want to end the tour and then I want to move on to the next thing. It's like, for him, it's very necessary to end things so he can start another one. He doesn't want to do too many things at the same time. He's like, now I'm managing my time. Now I'm deciding my schedule. Like, I really, like, please don't mess with my schedule. Like, I don't want anything crazy. I want stability. Like, don't bother me with nonsense. Like, be organized, because I don't want people, to interrupting my free time. He's, like, very serious about it. So yeah. And also here with Saturn in Pisces, the card of loss. I think that honestly, this card of the Oracle, this is a very Pisces card, and I think that also it has to do with probably him dealing with loss. We had lost people, in the past. These are very sensitive moments for the K-pop community. So maybe he's also like in this time of his life, he's thinking about loss. He's thinking about what he lost in the past. And this is why I think that for him it's also like, I don't want to lose anymore. So I want to value every opportunity that I have. And I want to be real with myself. Like, I want to be honest. I don't want to lose anymore. So he's changing, his mentality has changed. I don't know if maybe the fans can actually like give me a sort of feedback, because I don't know much about Baekhyun, but probably, if you did notice a change in his behavior, or if you did notice a change in the way he expresses himself, maybe, we could talk about it. But definitely he also lost something. He lost something in these years, and probably, probably the fans don't know, or it is something very personal. And I think that he's also dealing with accepting that also loss is part of life, and that he has to start all over, that he has to start all over. um, that sometimes, we have to let things die, we have to let things come to an end, to close the cycle, and that is not a bad thing for things to end. That after each loss, there's the potential of new growth, of new beginnings, of the a new blossoming of opportunities. So it's like, I think that for the first time also, probably Baekhyun is not afraid of losing. He's not afraid of loss. He's not afraid, because I think that he went through this in the past. And now it's like, no one can threaten him. No one can scare him with the idea of, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to lose your fans, or you're going to lose this opportunity, or you're going to lose, I don't know, your place in the group. He's not afraid. He's like, okay, bring it on. Like, I'm not afraid. I'm facing my fears. I'm not the same guy anymore. So he's different, definitely. So yes, guys, this is all I have for him. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I see you in my next video. Bye.